the upper cross. No, it's Delta instead. This way over. Congratulations to the top finish. A lifeline in this restart ride.
Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Well, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. I'm Miles Cadden, Milesy. Everyone calls me, as you can see on the screen there. But hope you're all well. Hope you've had an eventful week. I've certainly had an eventful week. Unbelievable. Never stops. But yeah, it's been good. It's been very good. Big, massive shout out to Mr. View Sky, who has once again supplied us with some great videos, some great goals for the intro. So thank you very much. And just giving him a big shout out, actually, he's just uploaded tonight a First Division 1988 to 89 Coventry's Aston Villa on his YouTube channel. And apparently it was our first win in the league against Villa in 51 years. So get ahead over there after here if you've got nothing better to do, if you want to have a little look at it, and go and watch that 1988 to 89 season, Coventry City versus Aston Villa, Mr. View Sky. So should be really good to have a little nose at that with nothing to do tonight, and it's only raining, and you've only got Celebrity on, which is a load of pants. So yeah, so head over there and have a little look. So let's get the show on the go. We've got our regulars coming in, and we've also got some guests joining us tonight. First of all, we're bringing Ken Stewart. How are you, Ken?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all.
Hoping for 3
tired,
points.
But
yeah,
getting there.
All hoping for 3 points tomorrow night, aren't we? So,
well, we hope so. We definitely hope so. We just have to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. Let's just hope he doesn't change the team.
yeah.
Well, play the team that started last week, but you never know. Let's bring Claudio in. Good evening, Claudio.
Good evening.
How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
All good.
Okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Mate.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Are we going to get a show from the cat tonight?
He's around. Well, they're both around. So yeah, you probably will at some point.
Brilliant. And we've got CJ joining us. Good evening, CJ.
Hello. Hello. Great.
How are you?
I'm good.
How's it all going?
Fantastic. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Good. So you went for a blood test yesterday. Everything all right?
Well, not going to know until next week, but yeah, hopefully so. Yeah.
Good. Brilliant stuff. I love it. Love it. Now, Liz, we've got a little bit to talk about before we get our Birmingham fan on. And her name is Claire. She will be joining us just after 8 o'clock. She is a season ticket holder at Birmingham, and she's going to give us the lowdown on Wayne Rooney and everything going on. So yeah, we'll see how that goes when she joins us later on. Now, before we crack on, all right, let's get spot the ball. So we've got spot the ball. Here you go, guys. We're going to get your guesses in. There you go. So it's another picture from the Plymouth game last week. Get your guesses in, guys. If you're watching, thank you for tuning in, and we really appreciate your support. So we get your guesses in. Where do you think the ball is? So we'll come to you first, Ken. Where do you think the ball is? Sorry?
18.
18. Okay. No mess in there. Claudio?
I'm going 19.
19. Okay. And CJ?
I'd say 20.
Oh.
Number 20. Okay. It's a nice variety there. Like it. So get your guesses in, guys. Let's get some guesses in. Spot the ball. Win yourself a prize. Already in time for Christmas. And that's the Plymouth game last Tuesday, wasn't it? So, yeah, Plymouth at home. Where is the ball? See if you can spot where it is. Get your guesses in. Some guesses already flying in here, which is really good. And the guys are writing them down. So that's great news for me. So we're going to talk about a couple of things that have gone on at the club this week. First of all, CJ, you're a bit like me. You like your trainers. They're a disaster, aren't they?
I only really buy one brand, and it's not Hummel. I'm a little bit. I've seen quite a few customs done, and don't get me wrong, they're done quite nicely and whatever. But it's not really my thing with the club's logo on and stuff. But yeah, they're not great.
Especially £100.
To be honest, though, that is probably like the going rate for a pair of like terrace wear trainers now. You're talking pushing £100. I mean, you can get them on Depop, eBay for, I've got some really good deals. But yeah, for they probably are the going rate. If not, probably slightly cheap, considering I'm guessing they're a very limited run. Yeah. But I'm guessing there'll be a few people kind of buy them and just put them in the loft, because I think they will be worth a bit in a few years' time. But yeah, they're not really my cup of tea. But at the end of the day, I just look at it and think, well, if the club wants to bring something out and they want to try and make a few quid out of it, then why not? And some people love them, some people hate them, but the people that love them will probably buy them. They'll probably find the money from somewhere and buy them.
I don't really like the sole. I don't like the sole on them. I think it would have been better if they were sort of like gazelles and that, and they had like a white sole or a black sole to them. It was just seems a little bit off. Ken, what do you think to them?
No, I think I'll stick with my Adidas.
Other brands available, by the way.
Other brands available, obviously, but I think Adidas.
Is there?
Decent band, decent. I think you could probably go to Hummel direct and get them a little bit cheaper. To be fair, in sky blue. You'd be paying for obviously the badge and the logo, and yeah, that bumps the price up. But yeah, I don't think I'll be investing. It's a no from me.
Yeah, it's a no from me. Claudio?
Love them.
You've got them on now, haven't you?
Liar.
Oh, they're stick to Adidas. They're too bright. They look too trailer trash for me. They've got some issues with the design team at Hummel, I think. I don't know what's going on. They just look cheap. They're maybe £100, but they don't look £100 worth. And just not very too in your face, aren't they? They're not subtle enough.
Yeah, definitely in your face.
I've seen other people doing stuff that the club don't like, doing far better designs. Very subtle with PUSB on there, just little things with COV written on it or something. Just simple.
Yeah.
That's just it's the sort of thing you buy. I think a 10-year-old. As an adult, you shouldn't be wearing them.
No.
£100 on a 10-year-old.
Well, yeah. I mean, they look. I mean, I've said it before. If it got CCFC written on anything, some fans will buy it, no matter what it is. And that's it's a selling point, is it? But they're not very good, are they, for the price?
No,
definitely
not.
No, definitely not. Definitely. Now, listen, we've got some guesses coming in on Spot the Ball. Let's get it back up on the screen a sec. We'll get it up as much as we can tonight, this picture. Get your guesses in, guys. More and more people are joining the stream, so you haven't seen it yet. Here's Spot the Ball. Get your guesses in. Where's the ball? Where do you think the ball is? The guys have already had their guesses, which is really good. So let's get your comments in. Let's get them in there and tell us where you think the ball is. This is Plymouth against Coventry last Tuesday night. So that just gives you another little look at the photo if you haven't already seen it. So it gives you something to get your teeth into. And you never know, you might win a prize just in time for Christmas. Now, the other hot topic this week, Dave Body going. Come to you, Claudio. Dave Body, is it longer than you thought it was going to take?
Yeah, I think it was on the cards from the start, to be honest. Doug was very vague, wasn't he, when he was asked about if anybody was coming in when he first came in. What will be was the attitude, wasn't it? He then advertised for somebody to come in as a number 2 to Dave Boddy, which is already, that's your warning sign straight away. Why would you do that? You know, because it seemed like Dave Boddy was running things anyway. But I think he just wanted to get his own man in, and that's what he's done, I reckon. I'm not too worried that Dave Boddy's gone. Great, he's done what he's had to do. I just think he's still part of the old crowd, basically. And I wouldn't be surprised if 2 or 3 others go as well, because I think Doug needs to get his own people in. There's too much of the old block still hanging around, as far as I'm concerned. And I think when a new man comes, I'm surprised he didn't do it from the start. A lot of new owners come in and go, "This is my team. I've got 4 or 5 people I'm bringing in with me." But as he said, he didn't really know much about running a football club. He's looked at our lot and probably thought, "I can do a better job than this lot." And I reckon that's what's happening. Because commercially, it's a shambles. It's absolute shambles. And there's no denying that. From the kit to the season tickets, there's lots of other things. The pricing, the amount of time. There's so many U-turns. It's ridiculous. So I'm not surprised. But and it's funny that he announced it, didn't he? There's new guys coming in the new year. He announced him the next day.
He'd obviously been in.
Didn't mess around. So I'm not surprised he's gone. I'm surprised it took as long as it did.
Yeah. And CJ, Claudio just touched on that, saying that some of it's a bit of a shambles behind the scenes. Where do you think it's all gone wrong for this to happen and bring someone new in?
Well, I mean, firstly, with the new appointment, I asked my Forest mate what his opinion was on it, and he went, "Well," he said, "Who's that?" And I mean, he goes home and away. he's quite up on what's going on there, and then when I said, "Oh, he used to be the finance officer, director, and stuff like that," he said, "Oh, that geezer. Oh, yeah." I mean, he didn't seem to know much about him, which kind of, I see that as a good thing, because typically when directors or people within the club's hierarchy, you hear about them, generally it's because they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, or going against going against what's good for the club, really. So that's the first thing I'd say on that. When Boddy first came in, he was commercial director, which I was very surprised about, because his past history just didn't really make any sense at all. I think maybe Chris Anderson was still here at the time. Maybe, I don't know. I think did he replace him? I can't remember. But yeah, he wasn't going to be in that role very long, and he was always going to become like somebody within the higher up than that, really. But the end of the day, I think there are 1 or 2 things that have happened in the recent past that haven't really shone him in a very good light. When he first came in, I didn't think I was going to actually like the guy as a bloke, but I think he's actually quite a nice guy, just due to his past with other clubs and what's gone on there. But ultimately, like I say, he's a nice guy. Go for a drink down the pub with him quite happily, but he always just seemed like he was a little bit out of his depth for me at here, and fair play to him. I hope he goes somewhere and does really well somewhere else, and goes on to bigger and better things. I really do, because there's been a lot of good things that have happened under his stewardship as well. So we've got to remember that.
Yeah. And Ken, what about you? He's a nice bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, we've met him a few times, haven't we? We spoke to him, and he comes across as a nice enough guy. Now, what behind the scenes, we don't really know what he's like regarding his staff. There is obviously issues behind the scenes, and if the staff under him are not doing it, or the jobs they should be doing, then it comes back. The buck stops at him, doesn't it? Because he's he's the top man, if you like. He's in charge of the staff below him. So if things are not being done, i.e. in the commercial department, which we know are not, simple thing as phoning the club up on the phone, try and get through to ticket office. Nobody can get through. There's no direct number, and nobody answers the phone. Things like that haven't been dealt with. And they're simple things that a business needs. To be operational, and people end up on the other end of the phone answering the phone and keeping fans informed. These things haven't happened, and there's still, from what I believe, still problems with the phone system. Nobody can get hold of anybody if they want to speak about something, or if they've got an issue. And at the end of the day, the book stops with him. It's his job to get that right. And his staff, if his staff are not doing it, then maybe he has to move on, and maybe he's took us as far as he can. But yeah, as a person, lovely bloke. He's a nice bloke. Spoke to him and nice enough, and he has done some good things. Don't forget about that. He has done some good things for the club. But there's a lot of things behind the scenes that certainly need clearing up and sorting out.
Yeah. Now, also this week, it's been a bit mad in the Football League. Managers being sacked left, right, and centre. We were out Monday night pantomime with Trisha Doodoo for Friday's pantomime. It was a good little show. But while we were there, come out, Tony Mowbray's gone. I mean, football's just gone mad this week. It's just gone ballistic. Why do you think that would be, CJ, that Tony Mowbray's gone? Because they're not doing too bad, are they?
It might just be that they see Christmas is coming up and they know what normally happens after Christmas with Tony Mowbray. It goes downhill, and maybe they're just preempting that. I don't know, but it's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? I mean, it's surprising, really. It's taken until this week for a Premier League manager to go, so this is the first one. And I read something the other day. 25% of the current Premier League managers have managed Watford. So, and that could be in the same month, quite frankly. I saw that stat pop up the other day. But yeah, I think it's probably a bit harsh, isn't it, that he's gone. Not so much Duff. I mean, they should be doing slightly better than they are. But yeah, it's generally it's general rule of thumb. What is it? 18 months. Not even that in the Championship average job length. So he's been there longer than
I mean, Claudio, Mark Robbins, with these sackings going on this week, do you think he's under threat?
I think he is, actually. I think only because Doug King's a new owner. And I've said this before, he owes Mark Robbins nothing, absolutely nothing. He's a new bloke, isn't he? So he can only judge him on what happens now, basically. He won't think about... I mean, he saw that through the last 6 months of last season, but I think he's got to look ahead and he'll make a decision what's happening, what he think might happen in the future. I mean, regarding Mowbray, unbelievably, he was only there 14 months. I thought he was there a lot longer.
Yeah.
And I think they sold Stewart and never replaced a striker, but they got a young side. So, I mean, to me, that was a surprise. But with Mark, I just think, I mean, I wouldn't want to see him go at the minute, obviously, because it seems a bit bonkers. The guy spent all this money and you've got to give him more than 3 months to try and sort the team out. Unfortunately, like we spoke about before, we spent a lot of money on two strikers that are underperforming, really, and are not living up to the hype that possibly the fans generated more than the club did. We do get a bit excited, don't we, when we sign somebody nowadays. I mean, years ago, we'd sign players. We didn't used to bat an eyelid, did we? But I just feel like after last season and the way it ended, and I know two of the best players we've had for 20 years were sold, but you felt like there was going to be some sort of momentum still, didn't we? And after the Middlesbrough game, when we won quite comfortably, I thought, okay, we're back on track. But it doesn't feel like it's gone that way, has it? It's sort of stayed sort of level, hasn't it? Nothing's happened really. So it's whether or not Mark Robin turns that around, and if he does, I think he'll be fine. If he doesn't, who knows? Because
Yeah.
you know, it only needs a really bad Christmas period, and he could be in trouble then.
Yeah.
It's a tough
I mean-
few games coming up, isn't it, as well?
There is.
Yeah. I was going to say, Ken. I mean, this run of games now. I mean, Birmingham tomorrow. They've only won one. I think it's one out of the last 8 or something. They've won. Southampton. Wednesday night. Leeds, Sunderland, and Middlesbrough. And the only one that's probably a chance of winning is probably Boxing Day. I mean,
Sheffield Wednesday.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Sheffield Wednesday. So, I mean, do you think he's under threat?
I think at the moment, I think he's safe. I think he's got enough in the bank at the moment. But if we don't pick hardly any points up over Christmas, and in January we're in the bottom, bottom 4, bottom 5, which we could easily be, then he'll feel the pressure again. Then I think Doug might have to look at it. But the trouble is, you get rid of a manager. Also, you get rid of the backroom staff have to go, because I think AD will probably go as well if Mark Robbins goes, and the whole scheme. And you have to start fresh again, don't you? You have to start again. And is that the right time to do it, or do you keep him to the end of the season? I personally think he'll still be here to the end of the season, regardless. I do. I think he's got enough in the bank. I really do think he'll be here. And I do think we tend to play well against the better sides, don't we? So we have got some tough games coming up, but we have played well. Again, certainly against Leicester from the first game of the season. Nobody expected us to get anything there, and we should have beat them, to be honest, shouldn't we? So, and we do tend to play quite well against the better side. So, although they look hard fixtures, anybody can beat anybody in this league, as we know. There's no unpredictable scores all every weekend, isn't there? So I expect us to win a couple of them games. And I fancy us to beat Southampton at home. Leeds away, that's going to be difficult. But I wouldn't rule out as getting a point there if need be. It all depends. I mean, it depends on the team as well, doesn't it? What team he selects. We were all upset last week because he changed the team. Nobody expected him to change our winning team, and he did. And it upset a few people. And as we know, we were down in Ipswich, and we were shocked, weren't we, when we seen the team? We couldn't believe it. And it backfired. I think it backfired. He probably knows that now. He probably should have just left it alone and kept the same. They're on a good run. Just give them another chance. Keep them in there until it goes wrong. Why change it? I didn't see any reason to change it against Ipswich, because I think it could have been a lot closer game if we hadn't.
Definitely. Now, listen, let's get a bit more spot the ball up. We've got Guess the Crest coming up later, the club crest. That's coming up just after 8 o'clock. But let's get some guesses in. More people have joined the stream tonight, so get your guesses in there. Spot the ball. Plymouth last Tuesday. Sky Blues on the field there, and we're on the attack there. So where do you think the ball is? Let's get your guesses in, and we'll get some comments now as well. So get your guesses in on the old spot the ball. Let's get some nice comments coming in tonight. Let's start from the very, very top. Where are we? Let's go right up there. Mark Cunningham says, "Good evening, all." Covandy's come in and said, "Evening, all." And you, Mark. Where's Mark? Mark Cunningham. There you go. Good evening, Mark Cunningham. Hi, Andy. He says. Catty Cad says, "Come on." Says, "Good evening, big boys. How's your Lady Godiva?" Lady Godiva.
I think he's referring to that in the Labour Club.
Yeah, in the Labour Club. Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was a good weekend. That Nation Radio comes on. Saying lol, Martin. Evening, everyone. Brilliant. Robin Fletcher says, "Evening." Nation Radio says, "Raining all bloody day." It is today. Janet's come on and says
I think Miles is frozen.
Miles frozen.
If something's happening, can't hear him.
He was just moving very quickly a minute ago.
Maybe he's realised
looked like he was in a cartoon.
I think his cables come out or something. But look, I mean, still got some of the comments here. Where we Paul Thomas? I do not think Godden will be starting tomorrow. We'll miss him linking up with O'Hare. Yeah, that's another thing we can probably discuss. The team selection. Nation Radio's got no money. Be loans. Well, we'll have to see what happens in January. It'll be interesting to see if he does have any money to spend. Wayne, we didn't look that brilliant against Ipswich. Kenda, no, we didn't. To be fair, and that's why I said I think if he'd left the team alone, we might give him a better game. I mean, it's easy saying it after the event, but no, we were poor against Ipswich. To be fair, we didn't play well. I think the players that came in, didn't do themselves any justice, did they? You know, they didn't really impress. So, yeah, you're right there, Wayne. We didn't play well against Ipswich. But I think Sakamoto, for one, I mean, I don't know about you, CJ. Do you think Sakamoto probably should have started against Ipswich?
Didn't he get a bit of a knock, though?
Well, apparently,
either the game before or the game before that.
Possibly. I mean, he looked all right when he come on, though, didn't he? I mean, the Ipswich fans we were speaking to. Yeah, the Ipswich fans we were speaking to down in Ipswich, they couldn't believe he never started. They said that,
it was all a bit strange for me, really. It's just like you said. I was a bit taken back when we had two keepers on the bench. I thought maybe it was Isaac Moore, but it was Simon. That's kind of understandable though, because I think Fadzian dropped out literally like. I
think it was the last minute. Yeah. I think the story I heard, they travelled down there the night before, and Moore was there anyway. And Fazdine obviously had to go back, so the team were already down in Ipswich. So
fair enough.
So it makes sense just to put Moore there, just to make the numbers up, I suppose.
And there was a 21s game the day before as well, which obviously makes it slightly more difficult to put somebody in from there. But I didn't quite get it at all. I don't know what we were trying to achieve with that with the formation or the lineup in general.
It'd be interesting to see what he does on Tuesday night. Well, tomorrow, Friday night. Sorry. Be interesting to see what team he plays, but I think there'll be a couple of changes. And you're back, Miles? No, can't hear you.
Now.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, there we can hear you now.
If Sakamoto was fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to start the game last week. No excuses. It was a big mistake. Should never have dropped the team. Should never have changed it. Should have just gone out as it was. But anyway, that's the end of the rant. Let's get some more comments because we've got our Birmingham fan waiting in the rings as well.
Oh, right. Okay. We can't keep them waiting.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we'll get them on very, very shortly. Wes has come in and said 60 quid, them trainers. Yeah, probably not even that, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't even pay 30 quid for them because I've just bought a lovely, anyway, we won't go there. But very cheap pair, but very expensive originally. What else we got? Oh, Catty Cads has come in and said we should all get a little charity thing going and raise 100 quid and send Ronald a pair of trainers in Uganda. He'll love them, wouldn't he? So if anyone wants to donate some money, we'll send them over to Uganda. So that would be good. So let's get. We're gonna have a quick break. We get some more comments in very shortly, and we're gonna get our guest in as well. Our Birmingham City season ticket holder Claire will be joining us, and she's going to tell us all about the wonderful Wayne Rooney. But we'll have a quick break while we're waiting for her to join us.
Sky Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Good evening, welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. You've got Ken Stewart, Claudio on the screen. We can see CJ's wall. He's just probably nicked off to get a quick drink. And we've got Spot the Ball coming up again and Guess the Crest. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to get our guest on. She's a season ticket holder. She is the wife of James from BC Radio and one of our co-presenters on Borsal Common Radio, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's get Claire in, shall we? Good evening, Claire. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Good evening.
Good evening. Can you turn up a little bit on your mic at all? You're a little bit quiet.
Yeah, how's that sounding if I just talk a bit louder?
That's better. That's better.
Brilliant. Lovely. Love it. Love it. Now, listen, Claire, we do a couple of things on the show on a Thursday night. We've got Spot the Ball. So I want to get you guess where you think the ball is and you could win a prize. Are you ready? Here you go. So where do you think the ball is?
I'm going to go 18.
Number 18. Okay. Lovely. Right. Made a note of that. So anyone else who hasn't got the guesses in, please get your guesses in. Now, before we get on to Birmingham City, we're going to do Guess the Crest. Now, don't give the answers out. You've got to say you either get 1 right, 2 right, or 3 right. Okay? So, but don't give the answers out. Anyone watching, don't give the answers out in the comments. Just say you've either got 1, 2, or 3 correct. So here you go. So we'll come to you first, Ken. How many do you think you've got right out of those 3?
2.
2. Okay.
Possibly.
Claudio?
Oh, I think 1.
1. Okay. CJ, I reckon he'll get all 3.
Probably 2.
2. Wow. Okay. And Claire?
I'm thinking none, I'm afraid. I should have done my homework. I didn't I wasn't prepared.
How many do you think?
I think none.
None.
None. Okay. None. Rightio. Well, we'll come back to it. Don't give the answers out in the comments. Let's just say if you got 1, 2, or 3 correct. So we'll come back to that very, very shortly. Before Claire goes, we'll give the answers out. So, Claire, season ticket holder at Birmingham City. How's the arrival of Wayne Rooney?
Well, mixed, definitely mixed. Obviously, everyone's seen the results. They're not great so far. I think it feels like such a shame because in the summer we were all so excited and so optimistic. Tom Wagner came in with Gary Cook, and it all just seemed like it was all going so well. Gary Cook's got that fantastic pedigree. Andy's a Birmingham City fan. It just all seemed like it was all coming together really nicely, and we were really going places. Tom Brady comes in and it's even more exciting. I think we all just got our hope sort of synced up. And then well, we didn't win in September. The results were a little bit mixed, but it was going well. And then I think Wayne Rooney comes in and it's a massive deja vu. We've been there before. The only thing a name that people have heard of, but isn't necessarily the best manager. We're actually doing really well. Time. I think it's not like he's going to get the sack anytime soon. I think we've got to go and see, how he does. But the early signs aren't great. I wouldn't want to be one of those players. I think the way talks about the stuff, I don't think really, getting anybody side. I don't think that encourages the players to sort of do any better than they are. The same group of players that won on average 7-2 in the before he took over. But yeah, fingers crossed. It looks like the owners are backing him and there to play, and yeah, hopefully it'll come around soon.
I mean, the departure of John Eustace, the fans were really backing him. I mean, it's a crazy thing to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, John Eustace last season under the random owners, nobody quite knew what was going on, what was going to happen, and he did such a good job just to keep us going, to actually stay there and get the team together, get us through the season, not get relegated. And again, you just felt, with him there, it would have been really interesting to see this season with steady ownership, with a bit of money behind him, what he could actually do as a manager. Because we were on the up, that we could build on last season, and that with him as the manager, that we could do a really good partnership. Listening into they did like a fans forum last week, and I think the new owners are very, they seem to have a long-term plan. Feels like there's lots of kind of statistics and data behind it and stuff, and they're looking at statistically, if teams play in a certain way, they're more likely to finish higher up in the league and things. It just feels like that's not all there is to football. It's not just about statistics. It's not about there is more to it than that. And I don't know. It's hard. And I think it feels at the moment like it's going backwards, that Wayne Rooney's taken a group of players who were sixth, people like John Ruddy in goal, Dion Sanderson in defence, who looked absolutely solid, really good at, defending, keeping us clean sheets, helping support the team. And they've gone, from, being absolutely solid to looking sort of, nervous, and a bit risky. And it's hard to see how that's going to turn around until January, until he perhaps changes the players. But that's a few more losses, not many more points, and potentially just further down the table by then.
Yeah,
we've just lost Miles for a minute. He's got a problem with the internet, I think. Claire, how are you playing now in terms of formation? Has Rooney just changed the way you're playing as such?
Yeah, I think he's trying to sort of get us higher up the pitch, to press more, to play, play much more out from the back. And it doesn't feel like it's working. You can, I think statistically you can kind of see what he's trying to do if you look at the positions of the players, and when they do that analytics where they show kind of what positions they've been in, where they've been passing and things. He obviously is trying to do something different. But then he's coming out and saying the players aren't fit enough to play how he wants them to. They're not, doing what he wants. But I feel that part of being a good manager is working with the players that you've got, playing to their strengths, getting the best out of your team. And fair enough, if long term he doesn't want to play like that, he's got different ideas. But yeah, between now and January and now in the summer, I feel like he's got to do something a little bit different. He's got to work with what he's got. He's got to perhaps do something a bit in between what we're doing now and what he really wants, and just kind of be a bit mindful of who he's got in his squad, who, they weren't doing badly. They're not bad players. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it's working at the moment.
So do you feel he's changed things too quickly then? Because
definitely, I think he's trying to come in, change it round. I think, there's obviously been discussions with the owners that, and obviously who knows what's happened behind the scenes with, John Eustace, what those conversations were. But I think longer term, they're keen to play, at a high level, play higher up the pitch, more pressing football. But I don't think you can just suddenly sort of do that overnight and change it all round and, hope for the best, because it's not working.
Yeah. Hi, Claire. It's Ken. Has he brought in different players, like players that have been out in the cold that weren't playing before under John Eustace? Has he brought players in, or is it basically the same set of players he's working with?
It's largely the same players, slightly different formations. We've had a few injuries. There's been people in and out, so he hasn't always had. And John Eustace was the same. We've had people who've been in and out, and it's kind of been a little bit who is available and making the best of who's there. But it's not hugely different. Scott Hogan up front has had less of a role. Stansfield, again, looked like he was really starting to get going under John Eustace, and now isn't looking quite so good. Burke has come in and had a bit, he's played more games, but it's not hugely different, other than people coming in and out potentially with light injuries, missing a couple of games here and there. So it's largely the same players, but he's just trying to get them to play in a different way, and it's not gelling at the moment.
Yeah, you confident he can turn it around?
I don't know. It's just I don't know, and I think it's a chicken and egg thing where the fans weren't happy with the decision, so perhaps haven't been fully behind it, because we do just feel this horrible sense of they've gone for the name rather than the person who can actually get us somewhere. And so, but then it's hard to watch. I went to the game at the weekend, and it's hard to sit there and cheer for anything. You're watching football of that quality, and you're watching players who you think, well, actually a few weeks ago we'd have won this 3-0 potentially, and we'd have been more solid. And it is a different style of football. John Eustace says it was just much more solid. It wasn't as fancy. It wasn't as, free flowing forwards, but it was solid at the back. And, we're a championship team who, we're not a Premier League team. We're not kind of, so it's kind of, it doesn't feel like he's playing to our strengths and getting out of what we've got at the moment.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry.
No, carry on, Stanley. Go on.
So would you say there wasn't much euphoria when Rooney was announced then, as maybe the owners thought they would have been?
Yeah, and I think for them, they've got a very long-term view of it, and a very commercial view of it as the whole of the club. And this was another thing they were saying at the sort of fans forum the other night, is they're looking at it. They've got a 10-year plan. They're looking at it from the point of view of the men's team, the women's team, the academy, like a whole club approach. And as part of that, they want to sign good commercial deals and that kind of thing. And I think having names, having Wayne Rooney, and then people like Ashley Cole and John O'Shea as well, that supports that kind of wider sort of financial and commercial aims that they've got. But one of the things they also said is, it's not all about 3:00 on a Saturday. But you ask any season ticket holder what's most important. It is 3:00 on a Saturday. It is, it's getting points. It's doing well. And I think they've got to get the balance and maybe get the timing right, that, we just need to win some games at the moment, and longer term, brilliant. And fair play to them. They've put money in the stadium. They've tidied up a lot of the stadium, sorting out bits of the catering, all those kind of things. Hopefully all the kind of seats will be back in. The work's being done to get the stadium back to sort of full capacity. Even the programs look nice. They've definitely, they're doing stuff all over the place. They're looking at the foundation, the academy. It's very much a whole club, a whole sort of approach. Getting involved with meeting people at Andy Street and getting involved in kind of Birmingham itself. They've obviously got a big long-term plan. I think it is just that thing within the summer. We were just all so excited, and then it was all kind of going really well, and then Wayne Rooney feels like the one thing they haven't quite got, maybe just with the timing, but potentially, giving John Eustace to leave in January or the summer would have, made a difference, could have kept us going for a bit, and then bring Wayne Rooney in, or bring in a bigger name and some bigger name players, and kind of just do it a little bit more gradually.
I think our club and your club are probably all feeling the same as supporters, where it was a great kind of summer, and then we all feel a bit deflated because it hasn't gone the way we want it to. I mean, on tomorrow night, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel personally it's either going to be end-to-end ridiculous goals flying in everywhere, or it could be, and I think it could be a real miserable match with two teams desperately not wanting to lose and not concede. And Wayne, the way he sets his teams up, he doesn't like to concede, and we got a manager exactly the same. So I'm not sure entertainment-wise what it's going to be like, and it's on Sky.
Yeah. And then you think as well, like, I think one of the things, mentioned in conversation before, like the ticket prices. As a family of 5, we paid £162 to go to that game tomorrow night. And you just think, well, I'm kind of doubting why on earth I have done that, because it's not going to be, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a good return on my money. I'm not going to get £162 worth of entertainment.
No, you could have sat at home and watched it on the telly as well.
In the room, yeah, definitely. I'm kind of rethinking that decision and whether it was a good one at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, Miles is back. Miles is back, isn't he? Yes.
Are you back, Miles?
Carry on. Yeah, carry on.
When I spoke to James, and he said, when I first met him, we had a brief conversation. I'd got my Coventry coat on, and he said that he goes and watches Birmingham, and I said, "Oh," I said, "Do you fancy coming on our podcast?" He said, "Oh no, talk to my wife. She knows it all." I think he presumes about football, but
He's very well trained. He knows what to say.
So how long have you been going to watch the Blues?
It's a lifelong thing. It's a family thing. I go with my dad. His dad was a Blues fan. We now take our 3 boys as well. Went the other week and my cousins were there as well. It's a long-term family thing. That said, I've been to a fair few COV games in my time. My dad used to work for Peugeot, so when they used to sponsor them, get tickets. James and I once went to see one of the first football games we went to together was we saw COV play Arsenal on Boxing Day when COV won 3-2. Fantastic game of football, especially as a neutral, because that was a fantastic Arsenal team as well at the time, and COV won. So
that was Robbie Keane goal.
Robbie Keane, I think.
And I think Hadji, yes, fantastic goal. I think 2 or 3
of his left foot.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 of the 5. It was when Match Today still did their top 10 goals of the month, and I think 2 or 3 of the 5 were in that top 10. It was an absolute cracking game of football.
I mean, we all know we'll be singing the same chant at some stage tomorrow night about another Midland side.
Yeah, not so fond of them. Definitely not so fond of them. But, yeah.
But I've never seen Birmingham as a rival at all. I've always thought you're just you're our nearest club, in fact, but never seen as a rival. It's probably because we rarely played each other really in significant games. It's strange how it's
at different sort of ups and downs at different points, haven't we? Different highs and lows, and we've always, historically, perhaps if Blues haven't been at home on Boxing Day, particularly when I was younger, we'd go to the COV game instead, and it's definitely not doesn't feel like a rivalry. Very different to how.
And of course,
what was your feelings when we? What was your feelings when we were sharing your ground with you for a couple of seasons?
I think the only thing we worried about was like the quality of the pitch and stuff and whether it would be. But it was really interesting, particularly those 2 FA Cup games where we were kind of away fans in one bit of the ground.
Yeah,
and then
that was strange. That was. Yeah.
That cracking replay that went to penalties. It was a great. Well, obviously, probably more enjoyable for us than you guys. Yeah. But again, another great game of football. So I think we had a good record there, to be fair, Claudia, didn't we? We didn't lose many games.
we lost 3 games in 42 home matches as such. Whereas I think I always say Blues lost 3 home games in a week when we did that. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
we always sing it, don't we? We won the league at St Andrews. That's the chance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Miles, you want to come back in now?
Miles is back.
No, carry on.
Well, we're gonna. Shall we bring up Spot the Ball again? Bring up Spot the Ball just for my thing.
I'll bring up Spot the Ball. Let's bring up Spot the Ball. I just wanted to ask Claire, actually, you support Birmingham, but you don't talk like a bummy.
So no, I was born in West Brom, actually. I was born in West Bromwich, and I've lived. I've lived in Borsal Common. I'd say my dad worked for Peugeot. We moved to Borsal Common when I was about 4, so kind of halfway between Coventry and Birmingham, kind of right in the middle. Grew up in Borsal Common, went off to uni, lived in various different places around the country, and then about 10 years ago, moved back here with my family. So
it's not a West Brom accent either, is it?
I don't know if you've already asked this question, guys, but Jukovic, he always plays rubbish against us for some reason. Do you think he still loves us?
Oh, I don't know. And actually, interestingly, he's one of the only players that Wayne Rooney has been nice about. So, maybe there's all sorts of things turning on their head and going a different way at the moment. So who knows? Maybe he'll,
He never has a good game, does he, CJ, really? When I remember that, I mean, even that cup tie, he didn't really have a good game, did he?
No. But he's a proper workhorse of a player, isn't he? But doesn't seem to be when he plays against us.
We just fear an ex-player coming on, don't we? That's the problem. Anybody who's played for us and comes on, you just think they're going to score, don't they? That's the problem.
Every week. Now, here's Spot the Ball again. Let's get Spot the Ball up for everyone. Here you go. Get your guesses in. Where's the football? Where is it? It's got to be there somewhere. You could win a prize ready for Christmas. So, get your guesses in, and we'll get a prize out to you, whoever wins it tonight. I do know we've had a couple of guesses correct, actually. So there is a couple of guesses correct tonight. And I do know that one of the panel, or maybe two of the panel, or maybe three of the panel have got it right. So if you listen to them earlier, you never know. They might have got it right. Well, it might just be there. You never know. Right, we're going on the club crashes then. Let's get these out of the way, because Danny obviously didn't get the memo, so don't give out any answers on the comments. And what's Danny going to do? He gives 2 answers out on the comments. But never mind, it don't matter. So these are your 3 teams. Have you changed your mind? Have you changed your mind? How many you think you've got, Ken? Have you changed your mind, or are you still going with 2?
Yeah, I'm still. Well, yeah, I'll still go 2. I think.
Still go 2. Claudio, you still going 1, or are you going 2 or 3?
I'm going none now because I checked the one I said I thought was 1, and that's wrong.
You're not allowed to check. That's cheating.
Well, I was only checking the 1.
Okay. CJ, you sticking with your 2?
I'm kind of like 1.5 now, to be honest with you. Definitely know the one on the right.
1.5.
That one came to me straight away. But then
Wow.
the one on the left, I thought I knew, but now I think it might be another team.
I've put these in here because I think you've been to watch these teams play. Not all of them, but some of them. Because I know you go to a lot of games. And Claire, still sticking with nil?
Still no inspiration, I'm afraid, no.
No? Okie doke. Right, well, let's get the answers in then. Let's see what people have put here first. Josh Tisdale, that's where I think the ball is, in the keeper's hands. Now, you meant to pick a number, Josh. Unbelievable. Right, okay. The answers are Juventus. Yeah, so there's Juventus
Yeah.
on the left.
It's the colours that did me on that.
You changed the colour, yeah. You changed your
the colours. I'd have gone if you hadn't changed the colours. That's my club.
The one on the right was Apoel. I could see that, but
that's why I said I think I got 1 and a different colour. I don't know. Go on.
And the one in the middle. There you go. Voluntari. There you go. Yeah. And the one on the right is from Cyprus.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's the only Cypriot team on the new FIFA game. There you go. Yeah. There you are. So there's your guess the crest. Just a little bit of fun, that one. No prizes up for that. No prizes. So going into tomorrow night's game, Claire, do you think you can get another win?
Not hopeful at all. No, I really don't. I don't know. I just can't see what's going to have changed. I mean, Wayne Rooney's press conference after the last game, absolutely, berated all the players and stuff. And I just don't see how that's going to inspire anyone to play any better, tomorrow night. I just can't see. It just doesn't feel like that, the whole sort of relationship is working at the moment. And I can't quite see what would have changed between Saturday and now that would, give me any hope. I'm afraid I'd love to be proved wrong. I would love nothing more than to be proved wrong, but I just can't see what will have changed and what would have got any better from Saturday, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, last time the Blues fans came to the CBS Arena last season, they kicked sinks off the walls, toilets off the walls. Are they going to behave themselves this weekend?
I hope so. I wasn't there last time, so it definitely wasn't me. I can make it. So yeah, I've got an alibi. I wasn't there. Yeah, I hope so. Because I think it's a shame then, because that reflects badly on all Blues fans. But obviously, we're not one massive group that So I hope we do, because there's lots of us. There's lots of different varieties of us, and so I hope so. Fingers crossed, and I hope it's a better game than we're perhaps all thinking it might be. But we shall see.
Well, I know they're doing a lot of measures after the game tomorrow. They're going to close the A444 from the Tesco's traffic lights all the way back, so the fans can get out without being run over or anything like that, which is very good. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think that's the first time they've done it, isn't it? I think so. They're going to close the A444. No trains. So if anyone's thinking I'm travelling by train, they've gone on strike again. Unbelievable. An average of £60,000 a year, and they've turned down an 8% pay rise. I don't know how you see that one, but there you go. So we're going to go on to scores. We'll come to you first, Claudio. Give us a score for tomorrow night.
If he goes 4-3-3, we'll win 2-0. If he doesn't, it'll be 0-0.
Okay. Ken?
Goals galore, I think. 3-2 to Cov.
Okay.
Cov 3-2. So
CJ?
I'm not confident to see any. I think it's going to be 0-0. I think it would be if they played till Monday and you had Ruddy and Collins come and sit in the stand. To be honest with you, I think it'd be 0-0. It's got 0-0 all over it.
And Claire?
I really hope Ken's right and that it's a good goal fest and at least we get to see some goals. But I think Cov might sneak it 1-0, but I really, really hope I'm wrong.
Well, I'm going for a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1.
Ooh.
I think tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going for 1-1 tomorrow, and then we'll probably pick up 3 points against Sheffield Wednesday. In the rest of the games, I don't think we're going to pick anything up at the moment.
You never know. You never know.
We got a horrible run of games. Oh,
it doesn't get any easier as well, because after those run of games that we mentioned, we've then got Leicester, haven't we? Well, we've got Oxford in between, but in the league they've got Leicester. So it's not going to, yeah.
Wes has come in to ask you a question, Claire. Who does Claire think is their biggest rival, Cov or Villa?
So definitely Villa. Definitely, obviously, we don't often play them either. But I think, in terms of who we like the least, definitely Villa. Much more affection towards Cov. Definitely.
I went to Villa. I went to Villa Blues the day that Dublin got sent off, and Blues won 2-0, didn't they? It was a hell of a game. And my mate, who's a Villa fan, says, if you want to see a proper dirty atmosphere for a derby, come to Villa Blues. Says, oh, go on then. So I'm sat in amongst Villa fans at the side, near the Holt end. Blues scored, and a load of Blues fans stood up by me. I thought, great, I'm sat amongst Blues fans. We had bottles of Coke and all sorts being thrown at us. And I thought, I'm flipping neutral.
It's
chaos. I've never known anything like it. Really,
I was amazed the first year we got promoted back to the Premier League. They put both games on a Monday night. I don't know how the police ever agreed to that, but the first two in 2002-03 season, they let us play at 8. There was that Enkelman, that game when Enkelman let that goal in through his legs. And we won 3-0, so obviously all absolutely elated. But somehow or other, they got, both of those were Monday night games.
Yeah, it really surprised me, actually.
Yeah. Got a lovely comment coming for you here. Jason's come on. He says she's better than Miles. It makes me ears bleed. Cheers, Jason. That's really confidence boosting. That is. Thanks a lot. Yeah, great. Wes has come in. Rooney was such a poor choice, to be honest. I think the owners went for the name rather than experience. Yeah, definitely went that way, didn't they? Mark Cunningham's come in and says a strange decision getting rid of Eustace as Birmingham were flying. Yeah, they were doing really, really well.
Wasn't it? Sorry to cut in, Miles, but at the time, wasn't it though quite tight? Because I think Blues were only about 3 points off 15th. They were 6th, but they were like
in the early stage of the season. It was,
and they just won, I think. Yeah. So, do you know what I mean?
I think potentially they've made the decision. We had September wasn't great. We drew and lost in September, but we were kind of hanging on. And then I think they probably already made the decision. Rooney was coming. The DC United season was coming to an end, and then it didn't help in terms of the owners. But then Rooney Eustace won those 2 games. We had those 2 really good games where we won 4-1 and 3-1, and so it looked like we were kind of back on a roll. He put they were fantastic games because he just went. I don't know if Eustace already knew and just thought, do you know what? Let's go for it. Let's go out on a high. But we had 2 brilliant games, and so then it looked like a really bad decision. If they'd done it the week before, or potentially waited a bit longer, it might have looked less like getting rid of him at a high point. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the season goes.
Some scores coming in for you. Danny Joy says 3-2. Good evening, Danny. Wes has come in, said 4-0 Cov. Wes, serious, what you've been watching? Danny Joy says Cov. Cov Andy says 2-0 Cov. Wayne's coming in, says 1-1. Catty Cads 1-1. Josh Tisdale's come in and said 2-1. Hadji Wright, both goals. Love the way, yeah. Kian GC 3-1. 3-1 Sky Blues. Mark Harrington, good evening. Mark, missed you on Tuesday night at the old Tuesday night, wasn't it? Yeah, players meeting, missed you. Cov 0, Birmingham 3.
That'd be
After
amazing.
last week's
I like
performance.
that.
Yeah, you could be right there, Mark, after last week's performance, mate. Cov 2, Birmingham 0 for Nation Radio. Kian GC says we're going to get 7 points out of the next 3 games, I think. Oh, it'd be amazing, that would. Crikey. Yeah, I'd take that all day long. You been drinking, Mark? You get some good banter on here. Catty Cad says, well, I know what he's meant to say there. Stit on the Villa. Yeah, yeah, well, we know what you're saying. Also, spot the ball for Kian G says number 24. May well be. May well be. Claire, you should support Cov because you haven't got a bummy accent.
You can't do that, though, can you? You can't change your club.
Yeah, you can. Why not? Just change it.
It's far too late now.
Claire is a Cov at heart, really. Well, she does sound like she's from Coventry, doesn't she? Definitely, yeah. She's got a Coventry accent now. She's living in Borthwick Common. We live and die in these towns, says 2-1 Kitchen and Wright to score. Blimey. This is brilliant. Blues 8-0 Cov. Yeah, right, whatever. Yeah. Well, in fact, actually, that wouldn't bloody surprise me at the moment. If that happened.
It genuinely could be anything, couldn't it? I think that's hopefully that's the exciting bit about tomorrow night is it could actually be anything.
Yeah. Right, here's Spot the Ball then. We're going to get the answer now before Claire goes because she might have won. You never know. Where's the ball? You've had your guesses. And the answer is number 20. And Claudio's dropped off the screen. And he's got all the answers written down. Or have you got them down as well, Ken?
I've only got a few. I can't remember a number. Somebody's got number 20. I'm sure.
CJ
I think it was me.
20.
CJ.
Yeah, CJ got number 20. Let's scroll back up to the top of the screen. Let's have a little look.
I'll
So
just have
CJ got
now.
number 20.
I didn't write any more 20s down. So I don't
Keno
think
Tomo got number 20.
Keno Tomo.
Neil can't win again because he's already won twice. No, 3 times. So he keeps returning. We keep rolling over the prizes.
Oh, we're living by these times. Live and die by these towns. Number 20.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's Michael, yeah. And Claire, you went 18. Oh, so Claire. Yeah, we live and die in these towns, number 20, yeah. Anyone else, Ken?
I don't think there's anybody. I can't see anybody else with number 20. No.
Right. So we live and die in these towns, is it?
I think it is. Oh, hold on. Nation Radio. Oh, Martin got 20.
Oh, Nation Radio.
Martin
got number 20 as well. Oh, so who we got? We got we live and die in these towns.
And Martin.
Yeah.
I must have missed Martin.
CJ. Yeah. Who else? Come on.
I think that's
Claudio
it.
Got?
Don't know. He's gone for coffee, I think.
Martin got 20. No, Paul Thomas. Paul Thomas got 20.
Did he?
Yeah, Paul Thomas. I've just got it up on the screen now. He got 20.
Okay.
Who else has got 20?
I can't see any more 20s. I'm just looking down.
That's it, I
No.
think. Yeah, that's it. So, Claire, because you're our guest, I'm going to number these. I'm going to number these up, and I want you to pick a number, Claire, because between number 1 and 4.
Gonna go number 3.
Oh, who's that?
Number 3 is CJ. Where's he gone?
He's gone.
Where's he
It's
gone?
also exciting for him.
CJ, where you gone? Oh, he's gone. No, he'll be back. His walls there. But anyway, CJ's won. Well done, Claire. You picked CJ. Yeah, you
CJ's
picked
a winner.
CJ. So, yeah, CJ's the
Oh,
winner. So, well done.
Claudia comes back now.
Yeah, he's back.
Can you hear me
CJ.
again?
Yeah, CJ. Claire picked your number, so you've won the prize tonight. Can't hear you. You're on mute. It's going well tonight, this.
Thank you, Claire.
You've won the prize. Claire, pick your number.
Yeah. What's the prize?
It's a Sky Blue
Prize.
Fans 15 mug.
Oh,
And a
fantastic.
coaster.
Yeah.
Or if you want, CJ, you could have a Troy Deeney mug if you know.
No, I'm all right, thank you.
No.
Although, to be fair, years ago, we won the Birmingham Senior Cup at Warsaw, about probably 15 years ago, it's got to be. And then he scored, we were 2-0 up after like 45 minutes against Warsaw at the Bescott. And this young lad came out of nowhere, scored 2 goals at Warsaw. It was Troy Deeney. And he nearly scored again. That was in injury time in the first half. We went in 2-2. It was a classic Cov. And he nearly scored again straight from our kickoff. And on the way home, we were sat with him and his dad. On the way home, he had family connections in Cov because he was coming back to Cov. And yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds
really,
like you
found him a really nice lad. But
No, you don't need one of them, Claire. Right, anyway, Claire, we're getting rid of you now. You're going.
Okay.
So, but listen, Claire, thanks for coming on. And we'll get you on again, can we, when we come to St Andrews?
Brilliant. No, I'd love to. Thank you very much for having me. Love to. Yeah, hope it's a good game tomorrow.
problem.
And,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Claire.
And
Cheers.
listen, good luck for the rest of the season, but not tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Same to you guys. Thanks very much for having me.
Cheers.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
hey, Claire.
Ta. Right, so Paul Thomas has come on. He says he's already won it once, but CJ's won it tonight, Paul. But he says, can I give a big shout out to Ruben, his son, who got it right? So he picked it tonight and got it right.
Well, congratulations, Ruben.
Well, yeah, well done to Ruben. Brilliant stuff. And Neil Pullen has come on. He just wants us to have a quick chat before we wrap it up, because we have got to wrap it up. Can we talk about how overpriced the Cov shop is now? Well, we did talk a little bit about the trainers earlier, Paul, Neil. So we will talk a little bit more about it just for you, because you know, we love having your comments coming in, and it's great to you know, see you getting your comments in. So overpriced. Monopoly board's definitely overpriced. CJ, you seeing it? 40 quid. It's way overpriced.
Yeah. Again, I think isn't that the price a lot the Cov one? There's a City of Coventry one as
I think
well.
that's 30 quid, I think.
Was it? Yeah. Well,
£10.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose when they do things in limited run, they're going to charge a little bit more, aren't they? But yeah,
I mean,
as we said, I think the whole commercial side needs looking at. I think really, you know, there should be, you know, you turn up with your 7 or 8 year old. There should be something in there you can just pick up for 4 or 5 quid, and you know, make his day if we've lost, or her day if we've lost. You know, that's the way I see it with the club shop. I think it should. I think that it's something we've been lacking for a long time, and now we've got this new shop. It's going to get better as time comes. But what I would say on it, I know it you know, it's impressive compared to what we've had before, but kind of that size shop is like that's like the minimum requirement for a club of our size. I think. I don't think
It's
we've
one
done
of-
anything
No,
extraordinary compared to what other clubs have got.
well
Really.
overdue, that, wasn't it? It's well overdue.
Oh, it was, yeah, big time. I mean, you know, like I said when I was on before, when we just opened, I think it was the night you were there, Ken.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
you know, I was thinking back years ago, well, not, what was it, 7, 8 years ago when we had a Barrow in Tesco's and some lads nicked
Yeah.
it and took it to the wheat sheaf. So, you know, we've come a long way, haven't we?
We have.
So, yeah, but even so, that what we've got there is kind of like the minimum requirement for a club of our size, I think.
And they've got. I noticed when I was in there the other day, they've got a ticket office in there as well now, and a non-match day ticket office.
Okay.
So the old ticket office is now only match day ticket office, and any day-to-day tickets you can buy from the shop when you're in the shop, which is a good idea.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
So you go to get a ticket, you can get one in the shop because there's a lady selling tickets. So yeah, which is good. But yeah, it is overpriced. But I think they should bring back the 10. I mean, there was, remember the time when season ticket holders used to get 10% discount, didn't they? If you remember.
I think I got that for life when I got one of those private seat licenses, but I think that's gone.
What happened to that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened to that. It's Paul Fletcher's thing, wasn't it? Sold us a dream. Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you've seen tonight, but Kimberly Owen, if you look for her on Facebook, her son, Jet, is a massive, he's huge Sky Blue fan. He goes all over the country with his mum, with his little sister, Portia. And I don't know if you've seen it tonight, but look it on Facebook. It's absolutely amazing. I did try and get the video for on here and I couldn't download it. But Jet opened an envelope tonight from Coventry City, and inside it was a certificate inviting him to be a mascot tomorrow night. And he just started crying, bless him. It was amazing to see his little face, and he was overwhelmed by it all. And Kimberly has been messaging me, and she said he's still crying now. He can't stop crying with excitement and so much happiness. And that's what it's about. You know, the young
we do see him at the games regularly, don't we? Away from home.
Yeah.
You know, balls there.
Yeah, all the time. Anyway, I've told her to tell him when he comes out the tunnel, he's got to come running over to Singer's Corner and clap us. So he's got to come running over and clap us all in Singer's Corner. So he better do, as if he's one of the players. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? It'd be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Claudia, we're just saying the club shop. Neil Pullen just come in and says club shop's overpriced. Some of the items are a bit overpriced, didn't they? Really?
Well, the Monopoly's shocking. 40 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think all clubs are the same. They just fleece the fans.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to say no. I mean, I rarely go in there because if I don't go in, there's obviously not going to buy anything, which is the best way of doing it. Avoid it, the temptation. But it's all overpriced, all of it. I mean, even the kits aren't they? Really, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, £50 for a shirt, which probably cost them what, £5 to make, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to, when it first opened, I wanted a cheese board. And it was 20 quid for a cheese board, just because it had our emblem on the front. And I thought, I ain't paying 20 quid for a cheese board. You know what I mean? And that retro football, the brown leather one, someone got one in the post and the badge was missing off the front, and all it is gold text printed onto it. It's not even pressed into the badge isn't even pressed into the leather to make it look a bit more authentic or something like that. And that's like 25 quid. And it looked nice in me bar here, but I ain't paying 25 quid for one of them when it, don't even look very good. No. I think they've got this new guy in charge, and he is trying to bring new stuff in. But like everyone says, with the way the world is at the moment and the country with money and things like that, they've got to sort of price it right. I think it is overpriced. Most of it is really overpriced. But football shirts, yes, they are a bit overpriced. But if you look at other clubs, Liverpool, if you want a player's edition of a Liverpool shirt, you're looking 120 quid. Or the replica one, which is like England do, the replica one, is like 79 quid. So really, 50 quid ain't bad. and our shirts are 50 quid. You look at Southampton's, I think they're £59 for the same shirt as what we're wearing, the green and black one, and their red and white one is like nearly 10 quid more than ours, and it's the same material, same company, but because it's Southampton, they've put the money up. Same as Everton as well with Hummel. Their prices are dearer than ours, yet it's still the same manufacturer. I think they need to really look at it now. And do you know what I would like? I don't know if you agree with this, guys, but you know what I would really like? To go back to a new kit every 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you alternate it, don't you? You have like from now, you have the same away kit for 2 years, and then it goes like you have one of them for 2 years, don't you? Because it's just too much, and it's. I mean,
and now they bought third kits out now, which is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've come up with good ideas. But you're thinking they're going to run out of good ideas soon because they're releasing 3 kits every season with the same idea. And what they're going to do next year? What they're going to celebrate? I don't understand.
You see, last season's home kit, I would have loved that to carry on for another season.
Yeah,
I loved it, and maybe what they should have done, because it didn't come with the stripes on the shorts, they should have kept the shirt this season and made new shorts and had the stripes on the shorts, just to freshen it up a little bit.
I never quite understood that because they just said it was a cost problem, a cost thing.
Yeah.
Well, just chuck an extra couple of quid on the pair of shorts.
They don't normally
have tram lines.
They don't normally wonder about cost, do they?
How many people actually buy the shorts anyway?
It's only the kids, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not that many, is it? Really? I mean, one of the things that we would like is they don't do 18 to 24 like the baby size.
No,
they do 12 to 18, but they don't, and then they do 2 to 3. And Seb's kind of in the middle of the two, so yeah, it's he's still kind of squeezing into his 12 to 18 at the moment. But yeah, I don't know why that is. They just it was never even an option at the start.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's already any baby. They used to do like baby grows, track suits, and all that sort of thing, like leisure wear. Don't think they do any of that anymore.
No,
can't even get a bib.
No. No. This is where they're missing out, isn't it? They're missing out on it all.
It's a marketing thing. But basically, we are. But I've had this discussion with the FA before. We're basically, with professional sport, the company, their marketing department, it's unique where they don't have to pay for their marketing department. The marketing department pays them. We effectively pay them to wear their logo everywhere, and it's in particular kids stuff. I mean, really, I think the kids kits could be a lot cheaper, even if it came to the point where they were making a very little margin on it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, get that kid wearing that kit. Ultimately, they'll probably want to go to the games. Typically it's normally that way around. They get the kit they want to go and watch rather than the other way around. That's what hooks them into going to the game. So I think maybe that should be looked at possibly.
Yeah. One more comment before we go. It'll end the night nicely, this. New Danny Hara. What do you think the score is going to be tomorrow? Well, we've had our score predictions, and Ken, you went for what was it?
3-2. 5-2.
Claudio?
I said a draw if it's 3 at the back, a win if we go 4-3-3 of 2-0.
Okay, and CJ, you went
very much 0-0.
Yeah, and I said 1-1. So there you go. There you have it. So hopefully you've all had a good night tonight and everyone's enjoyed it. We've had a lovely comment coming from Wes. Was it Wes? No, Mark Cunningham says great show tonight, lads. No problem. Our pleasure. And new Danny Hara's coming. He said they're going to win 2-0 tomorrow. And Robin Fletcher's coming and says great show as always. Cheers, Rob. So yeah, that's coming to the end of the show tonight. Just before we wrap up, Claudio and Ken, breakfast show this weekend, isn't it?
Saturday morning. Claudio's breakfast show with my guest co-host is going to be Ken on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'm going to appear on BC Radio.
11. So we're going to meet up about 8:30 I was threatening to stay at his house and roll over and give him a little peck on the cheek to wake him up. But we're going to just play some music and have a bit of a chat.
A little bit of sport on there, and a few bits and bobs. It'll be interesting. So tune in.
It's live. Yeah, we are live.
It's live from the
banging hits. I mean, message in and request.
From our
emails at the bottom if you want to message in and get your requests in for Claudio and Ken's breakfast show on BC Radio this weekend. No live show tomorrow for Sky Blue Fans TV because it's on Sky the Game, so that won't be available tomorrow night because there's no point when the cameras are there because they do all the build up on Sky. You will find me on BC Radio tomorrow night from 7 till 10, Dance Classics, and the same again on Saturday night, 7 till 10 on BC Radio.
You're doing a double.
And Sunday night we'll be back with Sky Blue Fans TV, and Tuesday night is our first live 3 Up Front show on BC Radio. So catch us on there on Tuesday night as well.
If one weren't bad enough, we got all
join us. Yeah, if you ever want to come and join us, CJ, you're more than welcome to come and join us.
Let's hope something happens over the weekend so we can talk about stuff.
Tell you what, Miles,
controversial.
I'll have to come and find you at one of the games coming up because I've got you a magnet.
Oh, mate! Oh, fantastic!
I know how much that's from Scotchy, so I know how much your fridge is almost falling forwards with the weight on it. So add that to the collection.
Brilliant, thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. It's lovely. That's really nice, and it
no
will go
expense
nice.
Spared, look, it was for four euros. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
cheers, mate.
Push the boat out for you.
Love it. And Debbie's come on and said, "Great show." Thank you, Deborah, for watching us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everyone tuning in and watching the shows. So that's it. It's the end of the show. And all I want to say is a massive, big play up Sky Blues. So let's hope we get 3 points tomorrow night. And let's get back to winning ways. And let's go on a good Christmas run. We've got to go on a good run now. So massive play up Sky Blues. Guys, play up Sky Blues.
Play up
Sky Blues.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.